Well, a great game from Darwin Buffaloes. They are going straight into the grand final. Welcome back to a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at TIO Stadium for the semi-final between St Mary's and Wanderers. This afternoon is the arvo for it. These two teams will be battling it out for the rest of their place in the final series. Very shortly we are going to get underway with St Mary's taking on Wanderers for their place in the rest of the final series. St Mary's have won the coin toss and they've decided to kick Airport end.
Took mark of the season, we'd say, last week, is going to be in the ruck against Ryan Smith, and I think this is where St Mary's on paper could have it, but it's a very warm day for big men like Ryan Smith.
Absolutely, and it's just hopefully it stays dry and we get to see some free-flowing, footy on the outside and Wanderers expose, some of their speed. And but St Mary's got some strong bodies. They've got some experienced campaigners out there. They played in plenty of premierships. Anthony Vallejo's captained a few himself, played in a handful. They've got great leaders out there, so they're not going to be an easy beat today, I think, St Mary's. But when I look at the Wanderers list, their depth just goes right through. And one player that I was really pleased to see him back last week was Bo O'Connell. He was been missing for a while. I wasn't sure where he was, if he was coming back, but I thought he was part of the difference in their turnaround last week. Thomas Motlop always performs. Marcus Totham is just a workhorse. Lloyd Johnson, I absolutely love this kid. I think I spoke to him yesterday. He's 17 years old and he is just playing with the incredible amount of sort of maturity and wisdom
and freedom for Wanderers style.
Absolutely, yep. But he's got a perfect role model down there in Mitchell Taylor with him. And not only do they play the same, for the radio listeners, they absolutely look the same as well.
Amazing.
Very tall, streaky, long ponytail. I wish I could. Maybe that's the only hairstyle I could grow as a ponytail at the moment. But Braden McLean, he's terrific. Brody Newman, he is number one in the competition for marks. He's averaging 8.4 marks per game, 101 marks for the season. So St Mary's will want to be on their game. They might want to think about getting a half forward to go and play a bit of a defensive role on Newman. So got their work cut out for them.
And just have a quick look, Eagles, Thomas Motlop going into the back line. One of the utilities, isn't he? Plays on the wing up forward last week and now in the back line for them. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. All on the line, Dom. Winner goes through for another week. Loser is out.
Loser is out. And Shannon, exactly as you tipped the ruck contest, Tipalora up against Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith definitely the bigger man. Siren sounds to kick off this first semi-final. Poor bounce to start the game, and we've got an instant recall. Sensible decision by the central umpire to recall that immediately.
They're allowed nerves too, aren't they?
Absolutely. Tosses the ball up, second round here. Ryan Smith wins it, taps it backwards. Saints through the middle. Quick kick out. Comes from Klusky onto the chest immediately there of Josh Smithson for St Mary's. Not a name that I've seen much this season, I have to say. Smithson goes to Calder on the lead, almost takes the mark, spills out, spills to Sean Edwards. Sean Edwards of GWS, Sydney Swans and Essendon fame. Lovely kick from him up towards Robinson in the goal square. Comes off hands. Paredes took it off the hands of Justin Robinson, was tackled, slung backwards, kicked the ball over his head, straight through for the first of the afternoon.
It's great work there by Saints and well called, Dominic. It was terrific play there by Paredes, just under pressure and was tackled from behind. It was almost tackled into a bicycle kick and kicked it over his head, so in spectacular fashion. So great work there by the Saints. Started with Ryan Smith. Keep an eye on that one, that ruck battle there. Tipalura is going to have to try and do something different. He's certainly not going to be able to get the height, so maybe they're going to have to try and win it at ground level. But Klusky, another one involved. I like the way that he goes about his footy, Klusky.
Well, he's doing a bit of a hamstring stretch at the moment. Keep an eye on that in the middle. Smith gets a tap down again. Klusky runs it over it. Tipalura gets a handball out for Wanderers. Ball down on the ground. Going to be cleared again by St Mary's. Klusky hit after. Puts it up into the full forward. Right full forward. And the man we've been talking about. And that is young Johnston. Johnston for the Eagles goes right to the outer side. Beautiful kick. Beautiful mark. And they're away with John Tipalura in the middle of the outer wing. He's got new flashy, flary pink boots. Probably got him after mark of the week last week. He goes forward to Shane Thorne. He gets an ugly kick on the ground. Dribbles in. Patrick, the full forward for Wanderers, isn't able to get it the first grab. Now he's got it. Hurried kick onto the boot. Rolling towards goal. Might not have too much on it. Trying to kick it off the ground. And the umpire has picked out a free kick. And he said that despite Totham trying to go for it with a battle in the goal square to get a toe to it, he was actually held back. So a free kick to Marcus Totham. And the Wanderers side get to have a reply within 2 minutes, and Totham doesn't disappoint. 45-degree angle, but only 6 metres out from the Eagles' goal. Their first entry into the 50, and it's a goal, and we are 6 apiece. 2.5 minutes gone in the opening term.
And I guess there's an example of the difference in the ruckman. Ryan Smith be 194 maybe. John Tipalura would be sort of 188 if he was lucky. But that was the difference. Tipalura was able to spread to the wing and get away from the opposition. He's a skillful player. Went on his non-preferred onto his left, come back inside of the corridor. Very, very sharp kick that he had in, but just went in, and I think the St Mary's defender just caught out for speed and was holding Totham.
3 minutes gone. 1 goal apiece on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Tyre Power, your match day favourite for tyre safety. Bounce again is a poor one. Both ruckmen, in particular, Ryan Smith, just stood there, just looked at the umpire and said, "What was that?" Ryan Smith, hands on hips. John Tipalura the same. Going to toss it up again. Perfect throw up. Well done, Ryan Smith. Belted it out wide, but only got it as far as the Eagles through Clee. Clee off to Erlinson, now off to the run of Bo O'Connell. Lovely kick up to Liam Patrick. Got shoved in the back. Is it a free? It's play on. Liam Patrick just can't pick up the footy. Bo O'Connell does on the paint of 50. 5 metres in from the boundary. Snaps into the corridor. Ryan Smith is waiting there. Taps it down. That's dangerous. Goes to John Tipalura. He's taken. Good strong tackle. Drops the footy. That was Klusky. And the advantage is paid through Lucas Jellyman Turner. Kicks it out wide. Brodie Newman, Mark Spoyle, caught. In fact, taken high, says the umpire. So Newman from centre wing plays on immediately. Goes to Thomas Motlop in the middle of the ground.
And Thomas Motlop just holds it up. He's chased down by Salmon, so a hurried kick right up to full forward. Has a lot on it. Drops into the hands of Bates. Bates tries to push him off, and another high going to the Eagles. So Bates tried to crash through the tackle, and the umpire has picked out that he was taken high. So Bates is going to have a shot directly in front of goal. Parnell is on the mark. He cannot believe it. Arms are flapping everywhere. So the 2 number 5s out on the field. Parnell on the mark. Bates crosses the paint of 50 for the Eagles. The left footer kicks it. He's got the distance, and he's got the travel, and he's got the accuracy. And Bates gets the Eagles second, and they're out in front for the first time today. 12-6 leading, 5 minutes gone. Hope you're enjoying this semi-final action on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au.
Yeah, just terrific work there by the Eagles backline. It started with Brodie Newman. We speak about his marking ability. Another intercept. There wasn't quite an intercept mark, but won the free kick, switched back inboard. You spoke about Thomas Motlop, Shannon, before the break. Kind of that designated kicker quarterback behind the play. And just a lucky free kick there for Bates. A bit sloppy by the Saints defence.
Umpire tosses the ball straight up in the air on this occasion. Ryan Smith wins it down, goes to land his first kick of this semi-final, up towards centre half forward. Smithson handled it nicely, gets it somehow out to Blake Cook, taken in a tackle, ball spilled, and the free kick will be paid here, and it'll go back to Blake Cook. Man on the mark, 50 from goal, just right of the corridor. Little chip kick out towards Calder, cut off by Lloyd Johnston, who just read the play beautifully, stuck up the left arm and took it. Now looking to find a teammate, goes towards Totham. Good intercept by Joseph Salmon. Got a hand to it and sees it out over the boundary line. 53 metres around from St Mary's goal. Grandstand side, they're kicking to the right, to the airport end. Scoreboard 2 straight 12 Wanderers. St Mary's 1 straight 6 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Always win with the free 5-minute tyre safety check. Ruck contest down from Smith. Goes to Klusky again to a dangerous spot at the goal square. Tap backwards. A hold is called. And against Mitchell Taylor, Jackson Calder for St Mary's will take the free kick. And the man on the mark, 15 from goal, slightly to the right of centre. The angle here will not be an issue for Calder, nor will the distance. Perhaps the nerves will be. His first kick. He's had a number of contests. First kick for this semi-final. Kick on its way. Straight through the middle. St Mary's even the ledger. 2 straight apiece. 7 minutes gone in this quarter. And the Tyre Power scoreboard kicking goals with 25% off on Kumo tyres. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au with Dominic McCormack, Shannon Byrne and Brenton Toy.
Yeah, maybe a little bit unlucky there, Mitchell Taylor, to give away the free, but I think that's the impact of Calder, is he just puts that doubt into the defenders' minds and creates just a bit of sense of panic and urgency, and it got the better of Taylor on that occasion there, so he'll just want to tidy up that a little bit. Nothing to worry about, but yeah, that's what happens when Calder's in the area.
Toa in the ruck for St Mary's. He's going to go up against Adams from the Eagles. Bounce in the middle. It's a better one this time. Toa goes over the top. Not able to pick it up was Jerome Motlop, who's come straight into the middle. Cleared out for St Mary's through Smithson. He gets it up to the left half forward. Coming back is Newman. Newman gets it off to McLean. The captain goes one way, goes the other, looks in, and a beautiful piercing kick finds Thomas Motlop at the defensive 50. He points up, wants to go further down the line. Great kick finds Schillerbeer. Schillerbeer, first touch for the afternoon. He goes high up and under. Coming through is Patrick, and getting it is Patrick. Great mark, hands out in front. Didn't look like he would get there in time, but he did. He just floated through the air, gives it off to Schillerbeer with the handball. Schillerbeer from 50, doesn't have the distance, and it's touched just on the line by Parnell, and it goes through for a point. So Wanderers now 2-1-13 leading St Mary's 2 straight 12, 9 minutes gone first quarter.
Saints had to bring the ball back into play. Lucas Jellyman Turner with the kick in goes really short to Labastida. Play on is the call. Umpire says it was not sufficient distance. Wow. Hope they're consistent with that this afternoon.
Hate to see his 50.
To say the least. Ball up, comes down to Schillerbeer on the left boot, high up and under towards the goal square, waiting underneath it, Smithson, and bounces off his chest initially. Second grab takes it in the goal square. He's been important so far. Smithson relieves the pressure.
Smithson out of the defensive goal, goes down the line. Easy mark by Cook, who was out in front. Sorry, that was Klusky, and it drops into his lap. Klusky goes down the commentary wing. Getting it off the pack is McLean. No-look handball over his back. Trying to pick it up is Thomas Motlop. Getting in there is Toa. Toa just dribbles it over the boundary. Thomas Motlop is calling for deliberate. And the ball is going to be tossed in right in front of Wanderers interchange on the commentary side.
Moves being made from the bench. Sean Edwards on. Jacob Long on for St Mary's. Toa now up against Adams. Comes down there to Zach Robinson. Gets the ball to Lant. Loses the footy in a tackle. Spills to Jerome Motlop. Wrestle between Lant and McLean. And a Shepherd call on centre wing. And Shane Thorne was upended. The ball returned to him rather high from Heppel. I saw a 50 given for that last week. Yep. So Shane Thorne now called to play on. Kicks long from left centre wing. Long bomb, the only one there, Toa. The target was Schillerbeer, just was not in the right spot. Liam Patrick coming from the ground too, grimacing. He's got a sore left ankle. As we see the ball passed again to Smithson. Right up the ground. Calder, the only person inside attacking 50 for St Mary's. Smithson kicks towards the grandstand. Sean Edwards takes a wonderful mark, leaping in the air, under pressure from Brenton Motlop. Takes it one hand with his left.
He goes down the commentary wing. Number of St Mary's free players. He picks out Robinson in the pack. McLean tried to get a fist to it, but strong hands from Robinson. He goes forward, looking down to the right forward pocket. Calder's got 2 to beat if he can. In front was Newman. Getting it off the pack was Cook. Cook gets it onto the left, into the left forward pocket. Tumbling ball, kicked off the ground by Thompson, and the umpire says he's kicking in danger. So there is going to be a free kick given to St Mary's.
Zach Robinson.
And this is Zach Robinson in the left forward pocket. But this is a great opportunity for Zach Robinson and his side to take the lead. The free kick was there. Thompson should have gone down to the ground. That's the desperation and feeling in this game at the moment. Robinson for St Mary's. 40 metres out, off 2 steps, just drops it through the goal. And he likes it straight over the goal umpire's head. The number of players come around and high-five him. It's warm conditions out here. It feels like 42. You do not want to be wasting energy just to celebrate a goal in the first quarter, would you, Brenton? So they move to 18. Wanderers 13. 12 minutes gone, opening term.
Yeah, look, tough conditions out there. Unlucky for Smith Thompson. The free kick was there. I think the St Mary's player had his hands around the footy and paid kicking in danger. And Robinson, nice easy kick off the boot. But absolutely, I think in the conditions today, you want to get a decent lead and then try and hold it. You don't want to be chasing the tail at the end of the game.
Jake Tower up in ruck against Tipalora. Both fly high. Tipalora got a left fist to it. Got it down towards Tassone. Couldn't get it away. Tipalora butters up again. Didn't quite take the footy. Now grabs it. Got it forward. Lance socketed away. Johnston couldn't pick it up. Shoved off the ball. Matthew Motlop manages to get it away from Jacob Long. Little kick from Long. Jerome Motlop tried to burrow his way through. Was tackled, brought to the ground. And the umpire says ball held to him. I'll take it. And he'll ball that up on centre wing. Scoreboard side, Toa goes up, wins it down to the opposing ruckman in Tipalora. Couldn't quite get a kick away. Wanderers wrestling around. Klusky gets a quick kick away. Comes to Salmon. He's taken in a tackle. Ball spills to Erlinson. He's shoved off his kick. Klusky can't pick it up. Coming through is Paredes. Jerome Motlop didn't pick it up. Socket off the ground again by the Eagles. They've got it all the way to attacking 50. Taken high with Smithson. He's been moved into defence, so it appears here, Smithson. In fact, that's Holner. Holner has taken the footy. Look a little bit similar. And he'll relieve the pressure.
Holman goes down the middle and finds Salmon unmarked. Salmon straight down the middle of the park. Coming back was Edwards. Nearly took a mark. Picking up, though, is Yaron. He gets it back to Edwards. Edward goes for a high up and under to centre half forward. Picking it up was Thompson for the Eagles. Trying to clear it out. Number of players. Newman calls for it. He's on the defensive side of the commentary wing. Newman doesn't have quite enough on it to Tipalura. Good work from Toa. Probably could have gone shorter. Thomas Motlop's letting him know there was a number of Eagles players around him. And the ball goes out. Tipalura already have his hands on his head trying to get back into the ruck against Smith. Warm afternoon, and he's their first choice ruckman this afternoon.
You're on SEN Top End Footy, the Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Ruck contest now. Smith against Tipalora. Sun right in their eyes. Smith won that one down. Tassone did really well, but dropping the ball was the call on him. Play on advantage. Lant got the kick away. Mitchell Taylor attacks it hard. Bounces off his hands and goes to Newman. Kicks out wide looking for Erlinson. Klusky in the contest. Mark almost taken by Thorne. Tries to step around close to the boundary. Ball's over the boundary. No call. They play the whistle. Handball comes out to Paredes. Gets a handball to Klusky. Wrestles around in the pack. Comes away to Heppel. Quick kick from him. Cut off really nicely by Brenton Motlop. Wheels onto the left boot immediately. Goes back into the corridor, finds his captain in Braden McLean.
Braden McLean has a man free in Cabillo. Cabillo's in the middle of the park. He goes even further down and finds Fijo. Number of Eagles players. Fijo just takes on the burners, takes a bounce, goes around Gallus, takes another. He's in the right forward pocket, goes on goal, and it's hit the post. That was great work from Eagles in their transition. The post lets them down. They go to 14. They trail by 4 points here. 15 minutes gone in the opening term.
Lucas Jellyman Turner plays on quickly, has a bounce, kicks long now to this Morris Rioli grandstand wing. Contest between Shane Thorne and Nick Yaron. And Shane Thorne just punching the ball out over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Brenton Toy.
Wanderers are absolutely killing St Mary's on the spread at the moment. Any time that they get a chance to come through that corridor and open up that far side of the ground, they have just got far superior leg speed to St Mary's and great quick entry. They've just got to do better at capitalising when they go inside 50.
Smith in front of Adams. Ball goes down. Hit up by Adams. And the ball is going to trickle out 60 metres around from the left post in favour of the Eagles, heading towards the Michael Long Learning Centre. A couple of players over on their haunches late in this first quarter. Very, very warm for a local 4:15 start for this semi-final. Winner through to next week. The loser is out. Ball tossed up, Smith in front of Adams. Ball goes down, picked up by Paredes, who's already scored a goal this term. Coming through and crashing the pack was Thomas Motlop, held without it. Umpire said play on. Ball comes out to the right back pocket for St Mary's, and getting a kick away is Jellyman Turner. Umpire said he was hit after by Motlop, and he's going to get the book out. And there's a 50 going on as well, so keep an eye on the booking as the ball goes down. Robinson's in front. Crashing the pack was Newman. and Newman had to get a fist to it. He did. Two St Mary's players around and fist the ball over, and there'll be a ball up right in front of the St Mary's commentary wing.
Yeah, just starting to get a little bit willing. This thing sort of come out of it a little bit, but now I think the conditions are starting to set in, the heat and a bit of the frustration. So I think it's important that both teams, hold their nerve.
Ryan Smith wins the contest. Salmon missed the footy. Kick out from the Eagles comes down towards Jellyman Turner, and the runner in the way. The free kick is going to go to the Eagles here.
Anthony Long,
the runner, yep. Former Essendon listed player.
Just while that was happening too, Jellyman Turner was just showing Jerome Motlop. He thought he got an elbow to the head. So Jerome Motlop's on report here.
Play on now, Jerome Motlop off to Bo O'Connell, and Bo O'Connell just bangs this long inside 50. St Mary's with the numbers, belted away from Holner. The ball comes to Salmon. He was tackled, got the ball away to Green to Paredes. Nice little chip from him to Smithson. Down in the defensive half of the ground. Long kick down centre wing. Ball almost. Oh, that's a wonderful mark to Newman. Lant was in terrific position. Newman willed himself into position. Took the footy. 2 grabs as he was falling to ground. Gets it away to McLean. McLean being chased by Blake Cook. Kick up towards a teammate in Clee. And Clee dropped the mark. He should have taken close to the boundary. Is it a boundary throw-in or a free? Now it's going to be a free. That's a terrible turnover from Clee. The mark that he should have taken. Then he's remonstrated with Kieran Parnell. And Parnell now right half back to take the free kick.
Parnell comes off the mark and inside the commentary wing. Kicks it down looking for Calder. Behind him is Adams. He gets a fist to it. Ball down on the ground in the middle of the oval. No one's able to pick it up cleanly. Great tap from Thomas Motlop, clever off the ground. Ball spills out. St Mary's are able to pick it up. Hurried kick to the middle of the commentary wing. Getting out in front of it, and the Eagles player getting it forward. That was great work from Clee. He got it down to Shane Thorne, who's playing very high up the ground. Started in the forward line. He's doing a lot of work around the middle of TIO Stadium. Ball to be tossed in right at the Wanderers interchange.
18.5 minutes gone in this first quarter. Getting willing. And Wanderers just looking like they're losing their discipline somewhat. Adams went high on the ruck contest against Smith. They got it forward, however, Wanderers. Matthew Motlop with ball in hand. Kicks it out wide, looking for Keenan Smith-Thompson. Takes it in space, confronted by Heppel. Puts the ball on the boot, and that's an errant kick cut off really nicely by Gallus, who's just trying to play in front of the key forward at the moment. And right at this moment, that is John Tipalora. Gallus kicks sideways, goes to Holner. Been serviceable for Saints for most of this season. Toa offers a lead. Holner goes really low, looking for Green. Can't find him, but fortuitously the ball spills nicely. And now on the up, the handball goes to Robinson. Back inboard goes to Kluski. Doesn't do the U-turn. Goes to Heppel. Nice smother by Cabillo. Ball comes to Newman. Out wide now to Braden McLean. Comes back to Cabillo. Went to go the soccer off the ground and is going to be penalised for it too. So just persistence from St Mary's. Blake Cook to take the ball on centre wing.
Cook goes down the outer wing. Finds Robinson. Takes an easy mark. 70 from goal, wheels back inside, looking for the left forward pocket, and Johnston takes a mark, drops it, gets the ball through to Calder. Calder just handballs it off, and Salmon is able to run through and right on the goal line, slam one home for St Mary's. And Taylor and Johnston, the defenders for Wanderers, can't believe it. Calder was there after a drop mark from Johnston, and he gave a great handball off to Salmon, who was sprinting through, and they've picked up another goal. They're still 4 straight 24. Wanderers 2-2-14. It's a 10-point lead to St Mary's. 21 minutes gone. Hope you're enjoying the footy. SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Brenton Toy is our expert.
Yeah, just Mitchell Taylor unlucky there, lost his footing and went to ground, which allowed Calder to come up to the football and create the overlap, and was able to give a handball over to Salmon, who ran into an open goal. Great work, Eagles.
Toa up against Tipalora. Again, the umpire bounce down is a poor one, so he'll bring it back again. Tipalora up against Jake Toa. The umpire to toss the ball up. He does that now. Toa goes high, wins it down. Paredes got one tap to it. Second tap, goes back in to get it again. Free kick for a hold. Wanderers starting to look a little frustrated here. Long kick straight down the corridor, down towards Calder. He's sandwiched, comes off hands, goes to Cook. Little kick on the outside of the right boot is going to bounce through for a goal. What a goal by Blake Cook. What a goal. And that is the 5th on the board for St Mary's. 5 scoring shots, 5 straight 30, leading Wanderers 2-2-14, 21.5 minute gone. And that's thanks to tyre power. Save on Kumo, store-wide super sale now on.
St Mary's is just dominating the hit-outs at the moment, especially with that second throw-up where it's just going straight up in the air. The big bodies of Smith and Toa are just getting first hand to it, and they've got some quality midfielders. Once they get it in, they're dangerous. But Wanderers, I think, just a little bit shell-shocked, just coming out of the middle too quick.
Ball tossed up, and there's going to be an infringement.
And that is a tough one because it's...
No,
a warning.
There's a warning, I think, Brenton. You're right, for the 666.
Yep.
So ball tossed up. Tipalura and Toa missed it. Down on the ground. Toddem's tried to pick it up. He's tried to get a handball out. Toddem's there. So is Tassone. It's St Mary's, though. Markham down as another clearance. Bouncing ball up to Robinson at centre half forward. Yaron picks it up. Just chips it over. And Salmon, who scored the last goal for St Mary's, was out in front of Johnston. And Salmon has had a great last couple of minutes, Brenton, and he's going to have a shot on goal. Breeze is at his back as well. He's gone probably a good 30 metres for his run-up.
And they needed to make the most of this breeze too, Shannon.
So Salmon has Johnson on the mark on 40 metres, crosses the paint of 50 now, gets to 45. Salmon, he's got the distance, he's got the carry, and Calder was sitting behind the goal umpire, was clapping it the whole journey, and Salmon picks up his second, and that's St Mary's 6 straight. They move to 36. Wanderers a 2-2-14. It's a 22-point margin late in this first quarter.
It's great play by St Mary's because what they're doing is taking the Wanderers match winners out of the game. They are eliminating the need for their defence. They're just winning it straight from the middle, going over it and getting in and scoring, and that's where Wanderers do a lot of their score launches, is from their back half. So if Saints can just continue to play more stoppage, stop-start footy and slow play, get it out of the middle, bypass the defence, it's going to be tough for the Eagles because that's where they really load up.
Ball back in the middle, 23.5 minutes gone in this first quarter, 36 plays 14. Toa wins the ruck contest. Wanderers almost had first possession. They looked at each other. Paredes got in there, took the footy, kicks down to Robinson, comes off hands, comes to Cook, handballs to Kluski. He's taken in a tackle. Motlop can't pick it up. That's Thomas. Kluski in there again, so to Tassone. Toa went low, got the ball away to Jacob Long. His handball good to Paredes. Kick quickly. Mitchell Taylor couldn't sock it away cleanly. Taken in a tackle, Braden McLean. Handballs backwards to Taylor. Just palms it away to Johnston. Lucky to not be given for a throw. Johnston up towards centre-half back. Ball taken by McMurtry. Little chip from Paredes after he got it from McMurtry. Now Kluski in hard. Got a handball away. Again back to Heppel. Heppel now, out to Jacob Long, little bit of space. What will he do with it? He finds a man in space, and that is Smithson. Beautiful kick from Jacob Long. His teammates were looking tired. They said kick to the goal square. He took a moment and saw Smithson in the corridor, 40 out, hit him on the chest. Brenton, good discipline play.
And a 50.
And a 50.
Sure, they've paid it against Thomas
What
Motlop
happened there?
for walking in the protected area. He's walked behind the umpire, and it's been paid by a non-controlling. They're not going to change their mind.
That is tough, Brenton.
Yeah, he was...
Meanwhile,
yeah,
I'll interrupt you there because Smithson's just run straight to the goal square. He's put that straight through for his first of the afternoon. St Mary's have had 7 scoring shots. They are 7 straight 42. Wanderers 2-2-14 on the tyre power scoreboard. Save $100 on Cooper 4-wheel drive tyres. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Brenton Toy.
What an incredible last 5 to 10 minutes of football from St Mary's, and the Wanderers players still arguing with the umpires or pleading their case. No point at this stage. Just got to get on with it. But St Mary's, they are just dominating out of the middle and getting it in. And the Wanderers' defence, they're starting to sag off, and Saints are playing smart through their spares.
Toa gets it, taps it down to Lant. Lant with another clearance for St Mary's. Thomas Motlop was coming out from centre half forward, overran it. Trying to pick it up is Yaron. Yaron's been manhandled. Now gets the ball to Robinson. Robinson unmarked, goes for another shot on goal, and Calder running back right on the last goal line. And he takes a mark over his right shoulder. And Calder, in the tightest of angles, he is on the boundary line, a metre from the right post. He's going to have to take a step out and do a banana, and he does. He snaps, and it goes, and he's missed it. And he's high-fiving. He's running away with his back. He's high-fived a couple of players, and the umpire's called it a behind. As the siren goes there, and that's the first point for the afternoon for St Mary's. St Mary's 7-1-43 have got a 5-goal lead over Wanderers, 2-2-14, and that was a huge quarter for St Mary's. I said there'd probably about 3 goals in it with that flags flying, but that is a big 7-goal term for St Mary's as both teams come into the huddle. A very, very warm afternoon here for the first semi-final. Hope you're enjoying it on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and CFSgear.com.au. Hope you're enjoying it. We'll be back. We'll take a breath because that was some fast and furious footy. We already had 9 goals in the opening term. Hope you're enjoying the action.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch.
Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory,
We're here when you need us most.
TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Well, we're only moments away from getting underway with the second quarter. St Mary's leading 43-14. We also like to acknowledge our NTFL sponsors and partners. No More, Carlton United Breweries, Towards Zero, Impex, Intersport, Gazale's Palmerston Club, Sterling NT, Bridge Toyota, and Sharon.
V Tyres. Go and see Grant and Des at Tyre Power Darwin, 131 Stewart Highway. You're listening to SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse, always here for you, and for cfsgear.com.au.
Semi-final action here. St Mary's up against the Eagles, and it is St Mary's in the lead. What a first quarter. 7-1-43 to Wanderers 2-2-14. They lead by 29 points. And there's a number of players that Brenton's already considering for the Kazali's Player of the Day. Kazali's Palmerston Club, the place to be. Brenton, what are your thoughts on that first quarter?
It was a bit of an arm wrestle early. Wanderers were very good. I thought they were doing a great job holding out. I was impressed with their back six. 4 of those defenders from the Wanderers back line played in the representative side. One of them captained it and the other one got best on ground. So, but I think that's where Saints have exposed them. They have bypassed the defence. They are just winning football out of the middle. They have dominated the centre square. Toa and Smith are getting first use on it. Lant, Paredes and Kluski are getting some quick inside 50s and making it tough for the Wanderers defence.
The ruck contest now. Ball tossed up again. Smith goes up against Tipalora, wins it easily. Bo O'Connell on the chase, pushed out of the way by Dylan Lant. Quick right foot kick up towards Robinson. He goes to ground. Newman almost taken with the footy. Manages to get a handball backwards to Thomas Motlop. He gets it to McLean. Back to Motlop. Now off to Newman again. Nick Aaron still on the ground after that tackle. A bit sore. Long kick from the Eagles comes out and the ball marked just forward of centre wing by Paredes. He gets on his bike immediately. Goes short. That's a terrible kick from Paredes, cut off by Keenan Smith-Thompson at left half back for the Eagles.
So the Eagles go down the outer wing. Pushed out of it, Erlinson. Ball goes over the top, trying to get there was Fijo. Under the old scoreboard, handball away, and it's a wayward one. It goes over the boundary. So ball to be tossed in right underneath the old scoreboard at TIO Stadium. Attacking side of the outer wing for the Eagles. Flags still flying around here. They're heading towards what should be the scoring end. If you have a look at St Mary's 7 goals, that's a huge scoring end. Ball goes over the 2 ruckman. Try to get off the ground was Tipalura. Ball still on the ground. Shane Thorne gets a player out of the way. That allows Clee to pick it up. Just a wayward kick inside their forward 50, and the Saints defence is easily going to mop up, and they're away on the commentary wing with Ryan Smith, the ruckman.
Ryan Smith now long kick. His target down there, Joseph Salmon, shorter than Johnston. The ball spills from the contest to Newman. Newman's kick is really poor. Hits the unmanned Lucas Jellyman Turner on the chest. His kick equally as bad. Cut off by Matthew Motlop as he tried to target Dylan Land. Shane Thorne with the footy. Caught with the footy. Good tackle laid by Joseph Salmon. He is in this game. That free kick now at left half forward. Plays on quickly, looking for Calder. Drags it in against Brenton Motlop. I thought he was out of position for a moment. He stuck the big arms up and dragged the footy in. Took the mark beautifully in the end, and Brenton Motlop, the man on the mark, stands about 40 on an angle now, right of centre, 45-degree angle as we see Keenan Smith-Thompson doing the calf stretches. A number of players here down on their haunches. The conditions are hot. Calder trots in, goes to 45, kick on its way, holding up in the breeze, fades right. And it is another point on the scoreboard. They move to 7-2-44, St Mary's Wanderers 2-2-14. Thanks to Muzz Buzz. Great coffee on the go. We've gone 2.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Thomas Motlop with kick-in duties. Goes 15 to his captain, McLean. McLean goes to the outer wing. Long thumping kick. Was looking for the lead of Thompson, but it's been cut off by McMurtry. McMurtry just drops it over. Nice little kick to Smith. Smith wanted to play on the handball at centre half forward. Goes in board. Great pick off by Bo O'Connell for Wanderers. Kicks it down in the middle of the park. Finds Shane Thorne out in front. He goes further down to Shillabir. He's been quiet this match. Hasn't got a goal this term. He turns around. 70 from goal. Pierces it down. Looking for Patrick, who's back out on the field after being off for most of it for the first quarter. Tottenham's got it. And Tottenham has a shot on goal, and that is going to be touched right on the line from Holner. And the St Mary's defence, they've got a mountain of paddock. Jellyman Turner has it in the outer wing, takes a bounce, and he goes down and easily finds the captain Paredes.
Oh, good play in the end by St Mary's, particularly Holner cutting the footy off in the goal square. Just had so much time and space. Paredes now, little chip, goes to Lucas Jellyman Turner, has a bounce on centre wing, goes over the top again to Ryan Smith, doesn't make the same mistake twice. Handballs rather than kicking on this occasion from Jellyman Turner, goes to Paredes, handballs inboard and goes to Sean Edwards. His kick, low trajectory drop punt, looking for Calder, chipping in beautifully. Lloyd Johnston, St Mary's being a little bit cute in some ways, and Lloyd Johnston read that magnificently. His kick, however, not so good. Goes to try and move from defensive 50 and simply kicks it straight to Justin Robinson. And on his mark now, Brodie Newman. Very similar position to where Calder had his kick from. Brodie Newman 45 metres from goal. Justin Robinson will have to kick from 50. So right of centre, kicking to the Michael Long Learning Centre end. Kick on its way. High, wide, very ordinary. Out of bounds on the full. 44 plays 14 on the Muzbuzz scoreboard. Muzbuzz on Osgood Drive. Great coffee on the go. We've gone 4.5 minutes in the second quarter.
Captain McLean for the Eagles are having the kick-in duties after that went out of bounds. Umpire tells him to move it along. He goes down to Thorne. Thorne gets the ball punched away from him. There's done a lot of running around Thorne. Tired legs out there from Thorne, and we've only gone 6 minutes in the second quarter. Thorne has to put his hand up. He's going to go up against Ryan Smith. Adams hasn't seen that Thorne had already put his hand up, so a bit of confusion for the ruck for the Eagles. Ball tossed in, 40 metres around from the Saints post. Smith tried to get a ball down onto the ground. Comes out of the pack now. Robinson in front. He's been playing in front of Newman all game. Now getting it and going back in board is Paredes. Robinson picks it up, gives it off to Sean Edwards. Sean Edwards has a shot on goal, and that is so high. And Calder again is celebrating the goal, but it was so high the umpires decided it was a behind to the right. St Mary's moved to 45, Wanderers are 14, 6 minutes gone. He's trying to fool everyone, Calder. True full forward. 3 scoring shots for St Mary's, 2 points and 1 out of bounds on the full kick in. Tried to cut it off was Nick Yarron. Goes to Bo O'Connell. His handball on the up to Johnston. Really intelligent tap to Jerome Motlop. Ball goes to Paredes. His disposal was deemed a throw. Comes to Bo O'Connell. Kick down to Shillabeer. Gallus did really well to get in the way. Comes to Erlinson. Erlinson's kick up to Bates was cut off. Great punch away from St Mary's. Kick out now from Holner. Goes to Labastida. Absolutely clean bowled by the footy. And then out of bounds for a boundary throw in. Just to the right of our commentary position on the Morris Rioli grandstand. Huge concern for Bates as he landed up trying to get that ball. He's grabbed straight at his ankle. So it looks like they're going to have to try and get Bates off. He can't put any pressure on that left one. Keep an eye on that, Brenton. Smith wins the ruck. Ball goes forward and Labastida isn't able to pick it up. And the ball's going to be tossed in right in front of the St Mary's interchange. And not good news here for Bates for the Eagles. He's unable to put any pressure on his left foot. Boundary throw in now. Ryan Smith up against Adams. Smith wins that down easily, but only as far as Clee. Quick kick came from Marcus Totham after he received a handball. Play goes on, the ball near Bates, in fact, and finally the umpire saying, let's just hold that up here while Bates leaves the field. Brenton, perhaps took them a little bit long to do that.
Yeah, but I guess that's smart by umpire Noonan, just to not increase any more risk to the injured player going off. But yeah, you're right, probably called it a little bit, could have called it a little bit earlier. I guess the ball wasn't in the area.
True, true. Bates now still being carried from the ground here, and Shannon, as you've described, really favouring the left ankle. No pressure on it. As soon as he landed, he grabbed at it. So he's fallen awkwardly there, and a ball up now to take place at right half forward, favouring the Eagles. Toa's in front of Thorne. He taps it down, trying to run through and pick it up was Jerome Motlop. He barges through. Umpire says high, going towards the Eagle. Thompson gets a dummy, goes around 60 metres from goal. Going up, Patrick flew. Patrick wasn't able to take the mark for the Eagles. Picking it up and running through, though, was Shillabeer after it went over the pack. And Shillabeer gets his first for the afternoon. It has come in the second quarter in the 9-minute mark. And they get their third for the afternoon, but it's still St Mary's 7-3-45, leading Wanderers 3-2-20.
And that is on the Muzzbuzz Great Coffee on the Go scoreboard. Hope you're enjoying all the action. SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au.
That was an incredible kick there by Darren Shillabeer. He was running into the right pocket. He'd kicked it on his left foot on the outside of it off the ground, and it sort of drifted from right to left. But it started with Smith Thompson, just a high kick in. Terrific contest by Liam Patrick just to be able to bring the ball to ground. And Shillabeer, who's a big man, was playing the crumbing role on that occasion and showed some real clever play.
Ball up. One down by Toa. On the chase, Kluski. Getting in the way, Marcus Totten did really well. Got the ball forward. Mark taken from his kick by Lucas Jellyman Turner. Handballs off to Green at halfback. Steps around Keenan Smith-Thompson. Handballs away to Zach Robinson. Goes back to Green on the run. His kick's poor. St Mary's need to be careful here. Wanderers on the move. Mark taken by McLean. McLean goes backwards slightly and across halfback to Thomas Motlop. Good kick from him out wide. Looking for and finding Joel Cabillo. Cabillo, little chip. Going to Keelan Fijo. Metres in the clear. 50 from goal. Kicks into the corridor, looking for Shillabeer. Punched away from him by Holner. St Mary's had numbers, but Holner just punched it straight to Shane Thorne. His kick on the left boot, really poor. Cut off now by the Saints defence, and they will play on out of defence. The kick goes again to Lucas Jellyman Turner. He's really worked his way into this game. Goes to Jacob Long, confronted by Tipalora. Keeps the ball in play. Confronted by three players. Matthew Motlop gathers the footy. Nice kick from him. In fact, no, it's not. Goes over the head of Bo O'Connell. And Lucas Jellyman Turner takes the footy, escorts it out over the boundary, and there'll be a boundary throw in at right half forward for the Eagles. 10 minutes gone in this second quarter. 45 plays 20 thanks to Muzz Buzz on Osgood Drive. Great coffee on the go.
Tipalura straight off the bench into the ruck against Toa. Toa gets a tap down. Thorne, though, picks it up for the Eagles. Bursts through the pack. Lovely no-look pass to Clee. Clee decides to go in to the top of the square. No one's able to pick it up. Coming off the pack and bouncing through off the boot of Thompson. And it was one of those goals. St Mary's defender was on the line, but Thompson's ball has bounced up and over a defender, and Wanderers have got back-to-back goals. That has come out of absolutely nothing. Great work from Shane Thorne. And Thompson gets his first for the afternoon for the Eagles. It's Wanderers 26 trailing St Mary's 45. 12 minutes gone, second term.
Absolutely, Shane. A couple of opportunist goals there, coming, creating something from nothing, as you said. And but I think for Wanderers, you'll take whatever you can get at this stage just to keep yourself into the game. It doesn't matter how you get those goals as long as you're getting them. So they'll take that. But St Mary's just unable to clear their defensive half. Wanderers been okay, but they're sagging off and guarding grass. I think Saints just need to be a bit smarter.
Jake Toa in the ruck contest wins it, taken by Matthew Motlop. He's then taken in a ball and all. Great tackle by Jake Toa. And the umpire calls the footy. Says, I will have it. So it tosses it up in the middle. Again, one down by Toa. Almost taken by Lance. Stolen away by Totham. Totham, long kick to half-back. Mark not taken by Robinson. Jellyman Turner again cleaning up. Long kick up to half-forward. Justin Robinson almost takes the mark. Thomas Motlop did really well in that contest to get the footy away. Yaron tackled by Totham as he pinched the crumbs, and a throw called on him. Marcus Totham in the action. Good tackle from him, and he takes the free kick at right half-back.
No one on the lead at the moment. Totham asks them to come forward. Ball down on the ground. Picked up by the Eagles. Coming out is Shillabeer at centre half forward. Dropped a mark he should have taken, but he gets the crumbs. Shillabeer high up and under. Sitting under it was Erlinson. Now the ball's in the left back pocket for Saints. They pick it up, and they've got a number of players that are clear here.
Ball taken by McMurtry. Goes on the left boot, right out wide, looking for Dylan Lant. Paredes there. He tries to take them all on. Succeeds somewhat. Runs into the middle of the ground. Long, high, left foot kick up towards Robinson. I thought he might have been pushed out of it by Newman. Ball spills to ground. Newman on the ground. Scooting in Nick Yaron. Picks it up nicely. Went to get a kick away. Another good tackle laid on Nick Yaron by Braden McLean. And incorrect disposal again is the call. McLean is off.
McLean thumps it down, finds John Tipalura, who's broken away. He's on the outer wing, takes a bounce. He's been told to go straight to goal. Takes another bounce inside the forward 50. Kicks up towards goal, and it's hit the post. That would have been a sensational single effort. He's still down on his haunches, and this is going to go to Shane Thorne after Tipalura was disposed of after he kicked. And the Eagles are going to get 3 in a row.
That's going to be paid downfield, or this is an interesting one because I'm not sure if the St Mary's player touched it before it went over the line. If it was late and it went over the line, well, then the ball will come back. If the Saints players touched it before it went over the line, which I think is what's happening now, the free kick is going to be paid downfield just outside of the goal square.
Yep.
Right, Shane Thorne's got it.
Yep, you're absolutely spot on, Brenton. And look at the angle now, Shannon.
So now, well, Calder for St Mary's kicked an exact point in the first term. So Shane Thorne's come a metre out from the boundary line. Shane Thorne, 5 metres from goal. He just takes one step and whirls it around. Made that look too easy. And they now have 3 goals on the trot. Wanderers are on the march. They move to 5 goals to 32. St Mary's 7-3-45. And they have got this deficit back from 29 points. It is now 13 points after they trailed by 29 at quarter time. 15 minutes gone in the second term.
It's a nice goal there by Thorne. I think he sort of might have earned himself an extra metre of an angle while he was walking back, and then he was walking in and he wasn't walking directly towards the goal. So I think by the kick,
exact same spot from Calder, and he made it look easier.
He was 2 metres
right.
out in the middle of the ground. So very, very smart play there by Shane Thorne.
Ball tossed high in the air. Toa wins it down. Tipalora just did enough to hold it in. Bo O'Connell tries to toss it out to Tipalora. Wanderers fighting hard here. Real scrap on in the middle. Dylan Lance soccers it off the ground. Matthew Motlop goes low. Goes in and picks up the footy. Did really well. Got a kick away. Taken by McMurtry for St Mary's. His kick out wide is poor. Was set up for Keenan Smith-Thompson. Nick Yarran got in his back. Nick Yarran just can't do a thing right at the moment, and Keenan Smith-Thompson tries to play on about 15 metres away from his mark, and the umpire's not having any of that. So back to right half back here. Keenan Smith-Thompson kicks to Brenton Motlop, just goes laterally into the shade of the Morris Rioli grandstand, 10 metres in from the boundary.
I think Wanderers might have just had an extra player on there.
So Brenton Motlop now called to play on. Goes with a booming left foot kick down the line. Gallus there, so too Shillabeer. Gallus dropped the mark, then went back in and got hold of it. Got it away to Lant. Lant off to the run of Smithson. Saints in a bit of space. Now a kick up towards Calder. Shoved out of the way, and the mark taken by Mitchell Taylor. Great use of the body. Just went shoulder to shoulder. Now Nick Yarran up against Brodie Newman. No mark taken by Brodie Newman. Play on. No, in fact, it's Nick Yarran crashing into Brodie Newman. Nick Yarran on the ground. He has not had a good quarter, Nick Yarran, and the kick from Newman up to Tassone was cut off magnificently there by a player in Aaron Heppel. And Aaron Heppel saying, will someone please go and check what's happened to Nick Yarran? So out of bounds is the call. And a boundary throw, and you're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au.
Smith just shields his eyes in the ruck, goes over the back to Adams, coming through and picking it up. Oh, crunch down on the ground is Motlop. Bo O'Connell has it. He looks up. Newman is down on the commentary wing halfway. Has time to run. Just chips it forward. Beautiful little kick to Clee. Clee comes in board, and Clee was hit after he kicked the ball. Free kick down to Cabillo. Cabillo goes to centre half forward. Slaps his hands because it was a poor kick, and it's been cut off by Heppel.
So Heppel out to Holner. Saints in space here. They need to use it, though. They've had a number of opportunities this quarter, Saints. They have not been able to put a score on the board. Paredes goes into the middle of the ground. Holner couldn't get hold of the footy. Jerome Motlop did. Good contest. Got it out to Keenan Smith-Thompson. Long kick now down towards Liam Patrick. He can't take the mark. Gallus takes the footy. Manages to turn him around, and Liam Patrick has hurt himself very clearly. The kick from Gallus goes to Parnell. Parnell goes backwards to Green. Gallus stays on the move. Takes the footy. Handball to Kieran Parnell is poor. Saints looking very scrappy here on centre wing. Kieran Parnell with the footy. Has a bounce. Long kick. Thomas Motlop will take the mark, but it's going to be a free kick downfield because Parnell was put down by Keenan Smith-Thompson on centre wing. So the free kick now back to Paredes. 50 from goal. Plays on. Kicks to Sean Edwards. And he's told to take it back again because the kick wasn't his. It'll go back to Joseph Salmon. His position is at right half forward. Mitchell Taylor on the mark. 52 from goal. Right of centre. About a 45-degree angle. Joseph Salmon now going into the pocket. The target down there is Calder. The kick is too hot for everybody. Bounces once, out of bounds in the right forward pocket. 18.5 gone, 45 plays 32. Brent, Saints are struggling going into the forward 50.
They are struggling, but just interesting to see that Liam Patrick stayed out on the ground. Like, he stopped and looked very proppy, like he could not run at all, but he's staying out there. But yeah, Saints just no fluency going into their forward line at the moment.
Ball tossed in, ball goes back. Newman gets it for the Eagles. He wanted a free kick, put his hands up in the air. It's been turned over for the St Mary's side. Salmon in the right forward pocket, right near the boundary, kicks and's not able to bring it back. Goes through for a behind. St Mary's moved to 46 and they lead Wanderers 32. 14 points in this.
Four attempted scoring shots for Saints, 3 points and 1 out of bounds on the full this quarter. Ball with Bo O'Connell. Gets a handball away to Mitchell Taylor. Now to Clee. They've just got themselves out of defensive 50. Kick up to Shane Thorne was poor. Tassone runs hard at the footy. Well done. Picked it up first grab, but then got taken in a tackle. And the umpire says it was a sling tackle against Smithson. Brenton?
Yeah, this is a few weeks now, and obviously it's something that they're paying close attention to. Not necessarily sure if it was a sling, but most times when they're bringing a player to ground during the tackle, it's odd there's been a free kick paid.
Ball up to Thomas Motlop. Thomas Motlop just kicks straight down the line under pressure. Goes to Shillabia. The ball punched away from him by Gallus, and Ryan Smith gives him a big clap, says well done.
Just quickly, Nick Yarran is off. Looks like concussion. He was helped off and assisted. Also for Bates, for the Eagles, is off. Couldn't put pressure on an ankle, so both have 2 players off in doubt to return to the game. Ball goes over the top head of the ruckman Smith. Adams had it down on the ground, picked up by Heppel. Heppel goes forward. Mark dropped by Yarran, but he's able to pick up the crumbs. He just chips it forward to Calder, the full forward who was running out. He's pushed off the ball by Taylor. Taylor down on his knees, gets a handball off to Johnston. Johnston kicks it forward to Thompson, and a great fist from Lant. We'll see the ball out for St Mary's favour, 80 metres around from their right post.
Yeah, Mitchell Taylor just really pushing the envelope with how much physical pressure he can apply, but he's doing a great job because all he's doing with his body is shifting Jackson Calder off the line of the football, so he's unable to take his marks, and once it hits the ground, McLean, Johnson, even Taylor himself are just doing a terrific job at mopping up.
That wonderful Eagles defence, they are a fantastic unit. Ruck contest, one down by Smith to Heppel. Heppel burrows in and picks it up again. Klusky taken high is the call after he received the handball, so he takes a free. Marcus Totham looking a little bit the worse for wear. Keenan Smith-Thompson still stretching his calves. Klusky now going to the lead, trying for Calder. Missed him. Johnston couldn't pick it up. Spills to the back. Free kick paid. And the free kick will go back to Mitchell Taylor.
Just a bit of frustration from Calder, I think.
Really playing well is Mitchell Taylor. He goes forward and finds Cabillo. Thomas Motlop cruising through the middle here, going through the corridor, and he finds him. Going up the corridor again, looking for Thorne. Takes the mark on the second grab. Needs to bring Robinson back. Shane Thorne doesn't worry about that. Just goes the long kick to Shillabia. Was over his head. Gallus read it well and takes the footy. Kicks long and wide and looks for Parnell. Starting to work his way into this game in this second quarter. Takes the mark. A couple of metres in from the boundary. Brings it inboard and goes to Robinson at right half-back. Looking to steady play down here for the Green Machine.
Not too many leads at the moment. Very, very warm weather. And there's going to be a free kick going to the Saints.
Klusky.
Yeah, Klusky was taken off the ball. He goes inboards to Jellyman Turner. Right in the middle of the park. Handball to McMurtry. McMurtry just chips it over. And Green's not going to be able to dispose of the ball in the middle of the park as the siren sounds here at TIO Stadium. And it has been a 3-goal term for the Eagles, and more worrying for St Mary's, they were kept goalless. So what a reply here in this semi-final. There are worrying signs, though, both sides picking up major injuries. Bates hurt his ankle and was assisted 6 minutes into that term, not able to put any pressure on it. Yarran looked like he picked up a concussion 16 minutes into that quarter. He was helped off by 2 people and straight down the race. So both sides at the moment have a man down on the bench in very, very warm conditions as both players come in, high fives everywhere. Paredes goes over and talks to the umpires as well for St Mary's. Marys. But after trailing by 29 points at quarter time, the Eagles kicked 3 goals, kept St Mary's scoreless, and there is 14 points in this as both players go into a much-needed air-conditioned room, and they will go and get some fluids. We'll take a quick break and have some fluids ourselves, and it's St Mary's 46 leading Wanderers 32 in this semi-final elimination game.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch.
Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory,
We're here when you need us most.
TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Listen up, kids. Make school your story. Help you succeed and rise to glory.
Safe to go to school.
So go the distance. Attend every day. Learn and listen. School holiday rockin' with love or break.
Time with friends and family is always great.
When it's time for school, don't get slack.
It's safe to go to school, can't wait to get back. So don't cut corners.
Do the full term. It's safe to go to school and it's time to learn. So don't cut corners. Do the full term. Make school your story and it's time to learn.
School returns February 2021. Written and authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
At Muzzbuzz, keep cool this summer with our new range of frappes, including cookies and cream, chai and matcha. You can also enjoy our totally scrumptious range of food and snacks. Australian owned and operated. Muzzbuzz, great coffee is just the beginning.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The
time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Vaccinate. To protect our players.
To protect our coaches.
To protect our umpires. To protect our supporters. To protect our game.
Head to the Danila Dilba website for more information.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today at Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The second half is about to kick off here at TIO Stadium. The semi-final between St Mary's and Wanderers. Do head to the kiosk, grab yourself some hot chips. You do not want to be empty-handed for this next half of footy.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think whatever people think of it, we've got to be ready. If there is an opportunity that a licence becomes available, this is the time now to start to make sure that we can put something on the table and say we're ready. Because if Tasmania get the 19th, they're clearly going to have to look for a 20th.
Yep.
So timing-wise, this is right. Timing-wise, the lights have come on here. It's still a very sunny afternoon, 5:30 local time. The lights are on here, though, TIO Stadium, in a very, very warm afternoon. And, wow, Brenton Toy, 14 points in it after they trailed by 29 points. What a great quarter for the Eagles fans. 15-point turnaround.
Yeah, just went for a little walk through the members bar and just a few comments around, you know, the turnaround, just completely different, and certainly not what people expected of Wanderers and of St Mary's, not to score a goal in that quarter. But Wanderers, they made something from nothing, a few opportunist goals, but as we said, you take them whenever you can get them. But during the break we spoke about Wanderers are playing pretty much a kind of a zone defence. They're sagging off, covering grass. I think St Mary's just need to slow it down and play through that and try and force the Wanderers players to be accountable.
Quickly, Salmon has passed the concussion test and is back out there for Saints.
Ball tossed high in the air. Ryan Smith up against Brodie Newman. That's the move that's been made in the middle. Ball comes down to Matthew Motlop. Drops the footy after being tackled. Loses it now to Smithson. Quick kick through half forward on the chase. Braden McLean. So too Brenton Motlop. Justin Robinson sees Motlop out of bounds. And there'll be a boundary throw in. 50 around from the Saints goal. Resetting immediately. Brenton, there's one of the moves you were thinking of, I know, that a bigger body into the ruck.
Yep, wasn't what I suggested. I was thinking Schillerbeer, but Newman do the same thing.
Newman gets in front. He gets the ball down, though. Smith is there trying to wrap it up for St Mary's. Down on all fours is O'Connell, and Totham's there as well. Ball down on the ground, hasn't gone too far from where it was tossed in, and umpire Mark Noonan says, I'll ball it up. 45 away from St Mary's goal. A minute gone here. Saints 46, leading Wanderers 32.
Ruck contest, one down by Newman, only as far as Smithson. Tries to dance around, succeeds in doing so momentarily. Has to go back in and get the footy again. Goes to ground. And one umpire giving a sling tackle free, the other one giving a head high free. Whatever it is, it's a free kick to Smithson. Left half forward for the green and gold. Bro O'Connell standing on the mark. Now Smithson called to play on. Runs all the way to centre half forward. Drops the ball long towards Calder, who ran underneath it. He just had to sag off a little bit. He could have taken the mark. Ball comes to Klusky. Just dribbles it along. Nick Yarran there after returning. Couldn't pick up the footy. Wanderers get it away to Keenan Smith-Thompson. Little handball off to Johnston is good. His kick up towards Lant, tried to take the footy with him, did really well, went at it twice, got the footy, nice kick up into forward 50, Mitchell Taylor paddling it around, Klusky gets hold of it, taken without the footy umpire, ball spills to Paredes, goes to Calder, Calder the handball to Paredes, Paredes handballed away, good pressure from the Eagles, coming away with it Braden McLean, lovely kick down the line, goes to Newman.
Newman gets a handball off to Thomas Motlop, he fumbled it, got time for the St Mary's players to get back, turnover now, going towards St Mary's. Picking it up is Yarran. 55 from goal. Puts it up to the top of the square. Salmon came out. Couldn't get it. Brenton Motlop overran it for Wanderers. Picking it up and getting it off the ground. Snap on goal is Klusky. And he's put one through. And Klusky directly in front snaps on goal and gets St Mary's first goal since the first quarter. St Mary's 8-4-52, leading Wanderers 5-2-32 on the Tyre Power, your match day favourite for tyre safety scoreboard. 2.5 minutes gone, and St Mary's through Klusky get the first one.
Just high-pressure football there from the Saints. The Eagles were trying to rebound their defensive half, but I think it was Thomas Motlop that just fumbled the football in the middle, and the turnover came, and St Mary's able to win it back and put it straight back in. So just another goal there for Saints, very much needed after not scoring one in that second quarter.
Ryan Smith lining up against Brodie Newman, so they've shifted the interceptor from centre-half back. Ryan Smith wins it down straight to Marcus Totham for the Eagles. High up and under up towards centre-half forward. Players underneath it. No one can take the mark. Spillage goes to Smith. Couldn't handle it. Scrimmage forms. Trying to come through strongly was Lant. Couldn't get a kick away. Totham got his head over the footy. Went in and grabbed it and was tackled. And the umpire says, I will have it at centre-half forward as players just pick themselves up from the ground. Paredes picks up the ball, tosses it back to the central umpire. He tosses it high. Newman tosses Smith out of the way. Ball comes down to Paredes, stripped of it by Totham momentarily. Gets a little kick away. Erlinson couldn't handle. That mishandle was a good one because it went to Matthew Motlop. Ball comes to Keenan Smith-Thompson. Little handball away to Tipalora. They're in the right forward pocket. Parnell tracking Tipalora, pushes him out of the way. No one can take clean possession. Parnell brings it in and the umpire says, I will have it. So 30 around from the Eagles' goal. They've done really well to push it forward, and now a ball up deep in that forward pocket.
Shilabir puts his hand up for the Eagles. Smith wanders in for Saints, put his hands up. Right forward pocket for the Eagles. Smith just ragdolls Shilabir out of the way. Shilabir goes again. Now the Eagles will pick it up through Bo O'Connell. He has a snap on goal, and the last line of defence is Holner for the Saints. And just like a goalkeeper in soccer, he just bats it through for a point. And Wanderers go to 33. St Mary's 52. 5 minutes gone in the third term.
Dylan Lant plays on as the designated kicker, out wide to Parnell, all by himself out there. Man on the mark is Bo O'Connell. Parnell goes long down the line, looking for a teammate there, and his captain, Paredes, takes the mark, chips on quickly, goes to Kluski. Powerful player, takes that mark at centre wing. Speaking of powerful player, Paredes just keeps on running. He took that mark in front of McLean, just keeps on working, does Paredes. Long kick down towards Calder, bounces in front of him, goes to the back. Johnston is there, he just belts it away, goes towards the boundary. Will that be called as deliberate? The crowd are calling for it. The umpire says no. Boundary throw in. 50 metres away from Saints' goal, left forward pocket. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. 52 plays 33. Saints in the lead. 5.5 gone in this third quarter.
Robinson going up against Adams. And the umpire's going to find a free kick going against Robinson.
There were 2 or 3 Wanderers players there in front of the St Mary's ruckman.
I don't know if it might have had a little something to do with a wayward throw into their defence as well. And the umpires picked it out. So Robinson, 60 from goal. Comes infield, around on the mark, goes up to full forward. Calder's there, and Johnston and Taylor gets Salmon might have just at the drop.
Kluski's claiming it on the goal line.
And Mark Noonan, the umpire, says it's all clear. And Kluski, and where it looked like Taylor had actually just batted that through, and Kluski picks up his second for the afternoon, and that is back-to-back goals for St Mary's. They move to 9 goals for 58. Wanderers 5-3, 33, 7 minutes gone.
I was going to say, I didn't think that was a great kick by Robinson because I thought he put it too close to the goal line, which would allow the Wanderers defenders to punch it over, and I guess they did, but just not enough purchase on the footy. It dropped within inside the goal line, and Kluski just able to get a shin on it, I think. Yeah.
And you see, Brenton, very early, Salmon and Kluski actually moved from the contest to the line.
Yep.
They were ready for it early. So 7 minutes gone here. 58 plays 33 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Your match day favourite for tyre safety. Jake Toa now lining up against Jaden Adams for the Eagles. Adams wins that down. Totham gets a toe poke away. Ball at centre half forward. Erlinson can't pick up. On the chase, Keenan Smith-Thompson and Land. Smith-Thompson did beautifully. Got it to O'Connell. Back to Keenan Smith-Thompson in metres of space. Kicks on goal. The kick's going to fall short. And Holner punches it away from Patrick from the goal square through for another behind. So Wanderers 5-4-34. St Mary's 9-4-58. 7.5 gone in the third quarter.
Michael Long Learning Centre is at the behinds at the moment. St Mary's easily clear it out of defence. Small ball going to Cook. Cook's not able to get it on the boundary, and it goes through his hands. And it's going to go out of bounds on the full. Says he was just standing outside. Thomas Motlop to take the free kick. He's going to run straight through the Wanderers interchange. Asking for Shillabir to come forward. Thomas Motlop, that's where he's going to put it. Straight on the head of Shillabir, straight over the head of Shillabir. Players on the ground directly in front of the goal. Trying to pick it up was Klee. Number of players, ball down on the ground. Tipalura comes out of the pack, has a kick at it, and it just dribbles to the right of the post. And Shillabir sees it over the line. 15 metres around from the right post. Probably a good result in there from the Eagles.
Yeah, look, and I'd expect Shillabir to take this ruck. He's usually pretty good in these forward line ruck contests. Big body Darren Shillabir.
And you're spot on, Brenton. That's exactly what he's doing. So Shillabir up against Toa. Under the lights here, as if it wasn't hot enough already out there. Toa wins that one down. Charging through was Erlinson. It comes back to Paredes. He's put down after disposal. The ball now at centre wing. Yaron tried to get a handball away. Cut off by Thomas Motlop. Kick out wide goes to Kieran Parnell. He takes the mark. Handballs to Robinson. Nice little tap on. Back to Parnell, who kept running. Kick down the line looking for Calder. Got two hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. At the fall of the ball was Yaron. Lovely kick from him goes to Blake Cook, who takes the mark. 45 from goal. Players running down. The kick goes towards Klusky. Stands in front of his opponent. Couldn't take the mark. McLean takes it. Plays on. Long bomb into the middle of the ground. Thorns there. St Mary's have the numbers. Lant couldn't handle the footy. Toa comes in and picks it up. Gets it to Robinson. He puts on a good shepherd. Ball to Smithson. Quick hands. Went to Labastida. Didn't quite find him. Labastida and Cook come in hard. So too Tassone. He picked up the footy and got it to Fijo. It's heated up here, that's for sure. Kick out wide to Newman. On the up he goes to Thomas Motlop. Couldn't handle the first time. Robinson on the charge. That's Zach. Kick comes to Holner. Punches it away. Goes to Thorne. Picks it up in the corridor. Dances around. Handballs to Newman. They lay a tackle on him. He kicks backwards. Goes to Smith-Thompson. Pops the footy up for Tipalora. Punched away from him by Green. Comes to Zach Robinson. By hand he goes to Holner. Kicks out wide. Robinson's there. So too Cook. Dances around. Goes by hand to Robinson. Then to Labastida. Paddles it to Cook. Back to Yaron. In the middle of the ground. Offloaded by Brenton Motlop. Ball comes to Klusky. Long kick. Target down there. Calder. Goes over his head. Play on is the call. Lloyd Johnson to the back. Fumbles. Klusky's there. So too Calder. Handballs. In fact, it was Heppel. Goes to Heppel. Untidy kick. Bounces in the goal square. Bounces through for a goal.
Just high-pressure football. Terrific call, Dominic, just for the whole lot from the St Mary's backline. They were under pressure back there and they held up, and Wanderers were unable just to capitalise when it got there. But the ball transitioned well. We saw a little bit of volleyball work in the middle. Team, St Mary's players patting the ball around, but they willed it forward and they were able to get an overlap and outnumber the Wanderers defence down there. And a bit like Wanderers in that second quarter, St Mary's is just taking those opportunist goals. There's nothing flash about them, but they're just working hard and willing the ball forward.
Well, that is the scoring end, kicking towards the airport end. St Mary's have kicked 3 goals to 0 for the Eagles. While all that passage of play was happening, Klee has come off for the Eagles with an ankle injury. Looks like he's joining Bates out of the game with an ankle injury. Ball tossed up. Smith overran it. It was able to bounce on the ground. Newman didn't even go up. Smith gets a clearance out for St Mary's. Hurried kick up and under from the St Mary's into the left forward pocket, and they're going to call it out of bounds and deliberate.
Oh, no,
and that is going to go to Klusky.
It wasn't a deliberate, it was called out of bounds on the full, because Mitchell Taylor socketed and it went too far.
I thought they played deliberate.
That's what I thought. No. Why's Taylor kicking it? So that has gone, he's kicked that out of bounds in frustration. So that's good. So now Klusky, who's kicked 3 goals in this third term, is on the boundary, steps inside, snaps it around his body, and he's picked up a third. And that is his third for the afternoon. And Klusky has got 3 goals for St Mary's in this third term as the 13-minute mark clicks over. And that is a big quarter for St Mary's. They're 11-4-70, leading Wanderers 5-4-34. They've kicked 4 goals this term, and 3 of them are to Klusky.
Yeah, just unlucky there by Mitchell Taylor. He made the right decision. He attacked the football. He really body lined it. He got did everything right. Just unfortunate that the ball went over the line. But don't take anything away from that finish from Klusky. That was a nice snap from about 35-40 on the boundary line to just bring it back. And as soon as he left his boot, he knew it, and his teammates in the goal square were applauding.
Wonderfully skilled player is Jack Klusky. And they're fortunate to have him here this afternoon. 3 much-needed goals. Smith up against Newman. They break even in the middle. On the charge was Heppel. And a free kick in the middle of the ground for a hold is going to go back here to Tassone for the Eagles. Vincent Tassone. In fact, it's going to go to Brodie Newman. For a hold, it's gone against Ryan Smith, pleading his case. Umpires not having anything to do with that. Brodie Newman goes long, down towards Shillabeer. He's out in metres of space in front of Gallus. Gathers the footy in the right forward pocket. Gallus still on the chase. Handballs away. Lamp punches it backwards to a teammate in Holner. Holner, nice little chip kick. Calm chip kick. Went to Zach Robinson. Now out wide. Ryan Smith. Thankfully, he would say, it met him on the full, so he was able to take the mark. So Ryan Smith, left centre wing. Scoreboard side, kicks long down the line, looking out there for Smithson, just kept his body in front of his opponent there in McLean, in fact Joel Cabillo, and the ball trickles out of bounds for a boundary throw. And 65 around from the St Mary's goal. Just down the other end of the ground, Liam Patrick has to come off. I watched him again in another contest. He cannot go at all. He is basically walking out there or hopping on one leg, and he needs to come. I can't see him come back out, and that's going to be a big loss for the Eagles.
Could be the third ankle player out, as the umpire has called a free, and that's going to go towards Totham. No, it's going to go against Ryan Smith in the ruck to Newman, and that's been a big loss for the Eagles as well, having to put Newman into the ruck. So Newman's in the ruck, and there's 50.
And there's 50.
And he was being called back to come a step or two back, Ryan Smith. He didn't budge, and Mark Noonan is going to march Newman, who gives a handball off. Clever as he was running down, and the ball was going towards Shane Thorne, but it's been cut off by Gallus for St Mary's, and he's going to get them out of their defensive going on the outer wing, and he finds Klusky, the man that's kicked 3 this term.
Klusky's having a game and a half. Got the white boots on, low drilling drop punt, finds Zach Robinson. Good pick up on the first bounce, goes back to Jacob Long. Haven't seen a lot of Jacob Long. Lovely kick from him. Gee, Ryan Smith might have given away that 50, but he was well positioned there. Takes the mark, gives a handball off to a teammate in Heppel. Got the kick up towards Calder. Couldn't handle, nor could Yaron. Yaron lays a good tackle on Jerome Motlop. He handballs out wide. Paredes goes hard at the footy. Clee takes him high, clearly. Paredes just doesn't worry. Gets the ball to Heppel. Runs inside 50. Drills the pass to Joseph Salmon on the lead. Well done to the Saints captain, who just kept going at the footy.
Yeah, good work again by Saints, and it was good for Nick Yaron to just lay that good tackle, because his second quarter wasn't that great. So just to be able to put enough pressure on, force a turnover, nice lead by Salmon. I was watching him in the warm-up. They're starting him out as a different option to Calder up forward.
Joseph Salmon, 45-degree angle, right of centre. Morris Rioli, grandstand side, in the shade. Kicks on goal, and kicks a beauty. He's kicked his third. 2 in the first quarter, and now a very important goal in this third quarter. St Mary's 16 minutes gone in the third. Wanderers are on 5-4-34. Saints move on to 12-4-76 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Save $100 on Cooper 4-wheel drive tyres. You're with Dominic McCormack, Shannon Byrne and Brenton Toy.
Good thing about these goals for St Mary's is that they're not relying on Jackson Calder, and that was one of the members' bars conversations I had at half-time, Dominic, is that they were one-dimensional and they needed to find alternative avenues towards goal, and we've seen that now with Salmon and Klusky, and you know Yaron's dangerous around there, so takes a little bit heat off Calder, makes the opposition defence a bit more accountable.
Toa's in the ruck. Smith comes off for a rest for St Mary's, goes up against Adam. Ball spills out in favour of Wanderers. Erlinson tried to pick it up and get an air ball, and getting into the forward 50 was Totham, going over the head of Newman, who's now gone into the forward line. He tried to get it and he looked up towards goal, but the ball just spills out of his hand and spills over the boundary. His eyes lit up as he was in front.
Didn't they? He kicked the goal before he had the ball.
Now he's going to have to toss it in 15 metres around from their right post in favour of the Eagles.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul here with Brodie Newman playing in the ruck. Ball now tapped forward by the Eagles ruckman. And again, out over the boundary line. This time in front of John Tipalora, the man you just can't miss with those bright pink boots. 17 and a half gone, 76 plays 34. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Ruck contest. Newman just shoves Toa in the back and out of the way. Play on, says the umpire. Paredes gets a handball away. Geordie McMurtry got tackled, lost the footy. Wanderers piling in hard here. Ball spills out the back. Little chip comes out to Matthew Green. He handballs backwards, goes to Lant. On the chase is Shane Thorne. Puts the pressure on well. Ball comes out towards Klusky. Totham does beautifully. Gathers the footy. Steps around Klusky. Goes on the right boot now. Back inboard into the corridor. Mark taken by Heppel. Did really nicely in the corridor. Took the pressure. Took the mark. Now plays on to Zach Robinson at centre-half back.
He just takes his time. Has a number of St Mary's players free. He goes out to
Parnell, I think.
That's Parnell right. And I'm just having a look down on the boundary. Bates is in a world of trouble with his left foot in ice, as is Patrick. So Eagles have 3 players off with ankle injuries. Action back out in the middle of the park for St Mary's. Ball coming inside their forward 50. Calder is in front. Taylor gets a fist from behind, but Calder takes a great grab. Takes it on the second effort. And he is going to have a shot on goal with the wind at his back. He's kicked 1 in the first quarter. And the full forward for St Mary's is going to have to kick this 50 metres just left of centre. The flags would indicate there's a lot of breeze behind him. Comes onto the paint of 50. He hits it. The finger is up before it even goes over the goal line, and Calder gets his second for the afternoon. High fives all around, and Calder, who's been a great target all afternoon, kicks his second, and more importantly, it's St Mary's 13th goal. They're 13-4-82, leading Wanderers 5-4-34. 20 minutes gone in the third quarter.
Yeah, great work there by the Saints, and Calder just a terrific finish, and kicking into the wind, had to get some momentum behind it. That's his 61st goal for this season. He's the NTFL leading goal kicker. He will take out the Dennis Dunn medal for that. Coming into this week, he kicked 59 goals, 15 with 25 score assists. So very dangerous player down in the forward line, St Mary's.
Interesting to see Joseph Salmon. Normally plays up the ground, midfield on the wing, starting in the goal square.
Smart.
Really smart coaching there. He's minding Lloyd Johnston, or vice versa, but a very good move. 3 goals to his name. Ball back in the middle. Toa up against Adams. Clash of bodies in the middle. Out comes Paredes. By hand goes to Heppel. Heppel tumbling punt into centre half forward. Off the hands of Robinson. Goes to Salmon. Goes to Yaron. Back to Salmon. Back to Salmon. He kicks his 4th of the afternoon.
Terrific again, St Mary's. This is just like their second quarter. They are just winning it straight out of the middle, getting quick kicks inside their forward 50. But just having a look at the matchup and who Salmon's got, it might be Matty Motlop or us, Lloyd Johnson. But so evenly matched players. But Salmon just made the decision on that occasion to leave his opponent. He come up at it. He attacked the line of the football. I love that he tried to give the handball to Nick Yaron and try and bring Yaron in. Just a little bit of a fumble, but between the two of them, able to clean it up. And Salmon on the outside of his right foot, put that one in.
So St Mary's are having a field day at the moment. They've kicked another 7-goal term. Kicked 7 in the first, none in the second, and 7 in this third quarter. Toa just taps it down into the favour, and there's going to be a free kick off the ball. Umpire has called it out of the middle as Toa comes sprinting off after doing some ruck to get Smith on. Paredes, the captain, had the free kick over the head of Calder. Goes to the back. Johnston kicks it off the ground, getting at his Labastida. He handballs it back, trying to pick it up with Smithson. Coming through was the Eagles' defence, down towards Thompson on the commentary wing. Falls in the lap of Jerome Motlop, ball down on the ground. Bo O'Connell slipped over. Now it's back to Paredes running through. They've told him to play on. There was a shot on goal from Paredes after there was a free kick, and it's hit the left post. So Paredes, the captain, brings up another point. St Mary's 14-5-89, leading Wanderers 5-4-34.
Braden McLean brings the ball into play, goes to Daniel Clee. Clee goes back to McLean by hand, still inside defensive 50. Well done by Justin Robinson, just corralling him. Little kick goes to Keenan Smith-Thompson. Liked his game this afternoon, he's been pretty good. Plays on, goes around Klusky. Kick into the middle of the ground, looking there for Jaden Adams. Dylan Lance spoils that. Gathers the footy, gathers it well. Long bomb inside 50's a good one. Goes to Calder. Couldn't take the mark, nor could Cabillo. Charging through was Johnston. Paredes on the chase, so too Salmon. Salmon keeps his feet, takes the footy, taken high by Brenton Motlop twice, and dropping the ball is the call. The umpire says you dropped your head, Joseph Salmon, and had a couple of cracks at him, and dropping the ball is the call. So Brenton Motlop will take the free. Scoreboard 89 plays 34 thanks to Tyre Power, your match day favourite for tyre safety.
Handball off to Johnson. He just gets an absolute thumping 70-metre ball down the commentary wing. No one's able to pick it up at the moment. Getting it off his boot and then scooping down and picking up is O'Connell. Takes a bounce, gets to 70 metres, puts it into the left forward pocket for Shillabeer. Great work from Gallus from behind, and it goes over the boundary in front of Jacob Long. And what a beautiful scoop from O'Connell with that speed to burn as well.
He spent a fair bit of time on the bench in this third quarter, and I was looking out for him, and he's come on. He doesn't look like he's 100% at the moment, but when he does get it, he's probably one of Wanderers' most dangerous midfielders out there.
Boundary throw in now, 40 around from the Eagles' goal. Smith up against Adams. Smith gets a two-fister to it. Clee belts it back the other way. Lant tried to sock it off the ground, couldn't. Tottenham got a handball away for the Eagles. Jacob Long crashed to ground. Paredes goes in and gathers the hard footy. Gets a handball out to Green. Shepherd came from McMurtry. Kick up towards Sean Edwards. Haven't called him much this afternoon. Handled the ball brilliantly. Got a kick forward. It's taken by Johnston. Kicks into space. Keenan Smith-Thompson struggling forward. Gathers the footy. On the chase was Paredes. Long kick from Smith-Thompson goes down to centre half forward. The mark almost taken. Spoil came from Gallus. Players over the footy. It's held in, and the umpire will take it 40 metres out directly in front of the Eagles' goal. 24 minutes gone in this third quarter. Saints in the lead, 89-34.
Brenton Motlop in the hands of the trainer, just coming off. Looks like a left hip is pointing at. Ball over on the outer side. Paredes, the captain, gets it into the middle. Finds Smithson. He goes straight down the middle. Calder and Johnson, the only two, Taylor, the only two players inside the forward 50 for St Mary's. Calder fell over, and Taylor got a free kick, and it's going to be 50 metres. Oh, no, it's play on, sorry.
No, it's 50. It's 50 because Calder mouthed off, I think.
Calder's now running with Taylor. Taylor's having a bit of a chat with him. Calder gives up the chase, and Taylor in the middle gets a free kick straight down, looking for Shillabeer. Smith was in front, and Shillabeer has crashed into the back of Smith, and he's now down on his haunches. And a free kick has been given for a push in the back to Smith. And Gallus is going to take it because Smith's injured. So that was a big clash of bodies. Two big men, Shillabeer and Smith, and both of them have come off worse for wear.
I think they were going to say Smith had to take it or come off there.
Yeah. So the siren has saved both teams as Smith gets up. A number of players get around to him. He was crashed in heavily by Shillabeer. But that is the three-quarter siren, and most of these players are out on their feet here. A very warm afternoon in Darwin. It says 33, feels like 43 on a warm afternoon. But it is St Mary's who have kicked 7 goals in that term to Wanderers 0. And St Mary's 14-5-89 lead Wanderers 5-4-34. They are 55 points behind at three-quarter time. And this is the semi-final action. Winner of this game goes through next week, and the loser, the season and over. But it looks like the Eagles have too big a mountain to climb. We'll take a break. There will be refreshments for both sides as they walk in slowly. This has been a tough match for both sides. Hope you're enjoying all the action. SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
The fourth quarter only moments away. St. Mary's and Wanderers battling it out for their place in the rest of the final series. It's kicking off very, very shortly. The start of the fourth quarter, 89. St. Mary's in the lead to Wanderers 34.
On the Morris Rioli grandstand side, that is for sure. Well, St. Mary's leading here. They led by 29 at quarter time, 14 at half time, and then 55 here at three-quarter time. 14-5 to 5-4. Leading goal kicker in the game is Joseph Salmon. He has 4, 2 in the first and 2 in the third. The umpire holds the ball aloft to get us underway. Who will be going through to next week? Newman high in the ruck, wins it down. Paredes takes first possession, gets a handball out to Smithson after the tackle from O'Connell came. Smithson takes the footy, goes to Toa by hand, stolen by Totham as he tried to handball away. Tote poked inside 50. Keelan Fijo gets hold of it, has a shot at goal from the outside of the right boot, and it tumbles away into the right forward pocket and out of bounds. So a boundary throw in 10 metres to the right of the Wanderers' goal face. First attacking opportunity for them.
There's a good start by the Eagles. Great speed there by Fijo. Probably had a little bit more time than what he thought. Could have straightened up and kicked a drop punt, but boundary throw in.
Toa gets in front of Adams, who's in the ruck. Adam gets a good fist to it. Ball down. And coming through is the St. Mary's defenders. Getting it is Smithson. He goes back to Jellyman Turner. Goes through his legs. And the ball goes out of bounds. 10 metres around from the right post. And this is a big margin, but also a bit harder this last term. The Eagles have 2 players out in Patrick and also Bates with ankle injuries.
Big outs. Boundary throw in now from that right forward pocket. Adams up against Toa. Ball comes down to Zach Robinson, taken in a tackle. Jerome Motlop wants to go on with it. Players in. Jerome Motlop's dived into the footy. They've got him in there. The umpire says, I will have it, just at the last moment. So players putting in the effort here. Clee picks up Jerome Motlop from the bottom of the pack. The umpire takes the footy in the shade of the grandstand. Up goes Toa, wins it down, bounces off Paredes' chest, comes back to Jerome Motlop, tries to tow it off the ground. Lant got a kick away. To Shane Thorne and Lant going on with it behind the play. Paredes takes the footy, gets away from the pack. Handballs to Lucas Jellyman Turner. He goes back to Paredes, does the 1-2-1-2 with Jellyman Turner into the corridor. Handball to Nick Yarran. No one near him. Nick Yarran, poor kick off the right boot, goes into the corridor. In fact, it was perfect because Calder was able to double back into the corridor and push off Mitchell Taylor and takes the mark 45 metres from goal, dead in front. Could he go back and kick his third?
And he should. It was a good kick. It looked like it was a poor kick from Yarran, but basically he directed Calder where to go with that lead. Just kicked it to space and let Calder run onto it.
Calder with an opportunity, and Saints need to be a bit careful here. If Wanderers are going to lose their discipline, they need to think that they're playing next week. Don't get taken down. Calder with the kick on goal from the corridor. He looks pretty happy. He's kicked his third. The goal umpire signals and says yes. They kicked the first goal of the last quarter. And more importantly, at least they're not going to be goalless in this quarter going to the Michael Long Learning Centre end, Brenton.
No, but that's great work by St. Mary's. But I think that's a symptom of what Wanderers have done. They've taken Brody Newman out of the back half and put him into the ruck. But also St. Mary's have taken Joey Salmon and put him down in the goal square. So they've really separated the Wanderers defence and not allowed them to sort of tag team and team up and, you know, force a double team on the opposition. So it's great work by Saints, but Wanderers, you've said it, they've almost robbed Peter to pay Paul by taking Newman out of the back line.
And Newman's in the ruck. No Priest or Fuller, who have been rucking for most of the Eagles season. Priest was phenomenal last week against the Crocs. They're out. Newman goes up against Toa, but it wins down straight into the lap of Smithson. He clears it to the outer wing. Tassone is trying to get it to, it's going to beat both number 11s from both sides. Tassone and Yarran tried desperately to keep it into play, but it will be tossed in underneath the new scoreboard, which is the attacking side of the outer wing going towards St. Mary's and towards the Michael Long Learning Centre.
Boundary throw in now. Newman beats Toa. Toa goes back in and lays a tackle. Newman goes in and gets the footy. High up and under, up to the centre half forward. Target there, John Tipalora. Stands back. Gallus went for the footy. Fijo thumped it away as it bounced higher than Gallus could manage. Klusky got hold of the kick. Tumbled a punt up to centre wing. Paredes was there. Couldn't take the mark under pressure from Tottenham. And the ball out of bounds for a boundary throw in. On the outer side there, 4 minutes gone. You're an SEN top-end footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. 95 plays 34 on the Muzz Buzz scoreboard. Great coffee on the go.
Toa just tries to get around Newman. Ball came down to Newman. No look handball from McLean. Goes to the lap of St. Mary's. McLean goes again, though. Clever from the captain. Handballs it down on the ground. Good clearance here. Tassone gets it. Ball goes up to centre half forward. No one's back there. Trying to go through and picking it up is Shillabeer. Shillabeer with a kick on goal. And that's gone to the left. So that was Green. And that was a good effort from Green. They pick up a point, though. 40 metres out just to the left. It's still St. Mary's 95, leading Wanderers 35. 6 minutes gone, the final term.
Dylan Lant brings the ball in play, goes to Smithson, been a good player for Saints. Could he be the Kazales player of the day for the Palmerston club? Ball goes to Lucas Jellyman Turner, finds McMurtry. By hand goes to Lant. Lant inboard, nice deft kick on the left boot, finds Toa. Toa at left half forward goes further inboard, and Paredes, the captain, takes the mark. Gee, he's been everywhere this afternoon as Paredes. Kicks long. Down the corridor, Klusky off hands, Yaren's there, pushed out of the contest, ball spills to Thomas Motlop, nice little chip comes to Keenan Smith-Thompson. He takes the mark in the right back pocket. That mark minding there goes to Robinson, he goes right across the field. Mark taken by Clee, goes backwards to Mitchell Taylor. Caller trying to look after them all. The ball goes inboard to Cabillo. Cabillo goes back to Clee. No one there for Saints, lots of Wanderers players in the clear, comes to Tottenham in the middle of the ground. Now kicks across and goes to Shillabia for the Eagles. Takes the mark just in front of Dylan Land. Now runs on, centre wing. Nice little chip kick looking for the lead of Thorne. Kept his eye on the footy, took the chest mark and took it beautifully. But the kick, Brenton, the kick from Shillabia, geez, a good user of the footy.
Yeah, it was nice use by Shillabia just to get into the space. It was a great lead by Thorne. I think it was Holner. Holner showed courage coming back for Saints, but...
friendly fire,
yeah,
Holner.
But nothing untoward from Thorne. He just attacked the line of the football. Holner came back with courage. Thorne took the mark, and hopefully for Wanderers, thought he can kick this goal and get him back in it.
Saints have kicked one goal this quarter. Wanderers, can they kick their first goal of the second half? Shane Thorne comes in, leans back on the footy, goes very close to the man on the mark, gets the distance. That's a good kick from Shane Thorne. Kicks his second for the afternoon. His first came in the second quarter, and now he puts one on the board in this last quarter. St Mary's 15-5-95. Wanderers creep closer by that goal. 6-5-41 on the Muzz Buzz scoreboard. Great coffee on the go. 7 minutes gone in the last quarter.
Yeah, look, Darren Shillabia, he's been well held today by Gallus, and Shillabia had to push up the ground to go and get that mark up on the wing, and it's something that, you know, they've put Newman into the ruck. Perhaps they could have brought Shillabia up the ground a bit earlier.
Well, Shillabia has just pointed for Brenton Motlop to go and park himself at full forward. He's not 100% as well, so personnel going down for the Eagles. In the middle is Adams. He goes up against Robinson. Cleared though for St Mary's through Smithson. High up and under, getting underneath it is Yaren. He takes a good mark, runs around his opponent, goes into 50, puts it up to the middle, and just coming back and falling in his lap. It fell in the lap of Clee for Wanderers, and he kicks it to the outer wing. Tottenham there, gets a good bounce, claps it forward. Smithson's right on his tail. Smithson just moves Tottenham off the ball on the ground. He taps it on the ground towards the favour of St Mary's. Chipped in beautifully, and McMurtry is in the middle of the park. Dropped the mark he should have taken. Tassone, he's dropped the ball. Should have been a free kick to St Mary's. Umpire says play on. Ball comes out to Jellyman Turner. Kicks forward, diving mark. Couple of marks here being dropped off the chest of Klusky. He kicked 3 goals in the third term. Now, the Eagles are away defensively through Thomas Motlop. Chips it forward, and the Eagles are now looking to go inside their forward 50. Brenton Motlop is the target, came out at full forward. Picking up by one hand is John Tipalura. He's directly in front of goal, snaps it around the body, and John Tipalura has got a goal out of absolutely nothing. Beautiful one-handed pickup, and he's kicked it 30 metres on a snap. And that's their 7th for the afternoon. It's still St Mary's, though, 15-5-95, leading Wanderers 7-5-47. 10 minutes gone, final quarter.
Yeah, classy play there by Tipalura. As you said, just the one-handed scoop took on the St Mary's defence. He had Brody Newman on for a short pass over the top, or maybe even a handball, but took it upon himself, and I guess luckily for Tipalura, he kicked the goal. Otherwise, I'm sure Newman's words might have been slightly different to him.
They may well have been. Interesting, we see Robinson coming in the ruck again. Brenton, no Ryan Smith after that collision late in the third quarter.
Also, with that lead, you wouldn't want any
just not
injuries.
risking him.
2 weeks ago, it looks like he picked up a bit of a quad injury.
So one down by Newman against Robinson, went straight to Smithson. Interesting role for Smithson, started forward and now in the midfield. Kick forward, went to Sean Edwards, couldn't pick up the footy. Klusky's there, handballs to Edwards, goes with the outside of the right boot, the banana, and he's bananaed it just too far. Minor score on the board. Haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon, Brenton. What would you be doing with a player the quality of Sean Edwards?
No, I think Anthony Vallejo's just managed him throughout the game. He's been out for a little while. He needs to get some minutes under his belt. So I think he'll leave him out there now, and just to try and get a bit of conditioning out of the last 10 minutes of this quarter.
Thompson with a 60-metre kick from the kick-in. Newman kicked it forward, and there is a bit of a scuffle here. And players come in from everywhere. Saints players will have to be careful here as well. Jerome Motlop is the man the free kick is going against, and it's going to go to Heppel. Heppel wasn't happy with the treatment from Jerome Motlop. So Heppel, 70 metres from goal. He's going to look up, but he just goes long in towards Salmon. Johnson was in front for Eagles, gets a handball to Thompson, who's under a mountain of pressure. Paredes picks it up for the captain, just chips it forward, doesn't go 40 metres to Klasky. Klasky is taken down, ball out, now towards McMurtry. McMurtry had a shot on goal, and it's gone to the right, and they pick up yet another behind.
Klasky should have just given the handball there. Two St Mary's players on, uncontested, and just needed to give it off.
Mitchell Taylor brings the ball into play, goes to Bo O'Connell, chips forward and goes to Totham. O'Connell stays on the run, picks up another possession, goes to Newman, off his hands. Toa gets in front of Tipalora, wins the footy, goes to Robinson. Robinson goes backwards and goes to Dylan Lant. Justin Robinson's had a big game this afternoon, another one who could be the Kazales player of the day. Kazales making a difference. Kieran Parnell with ball in hand, he decides to go back to Dylan Lant. Just owning the footy here for the moment, St Mary's. On the Morris Rioli grandstand wing, in the shade, that's what's really happening. Just keeping the footy in the shade. Lant goes back to Parnell. Thomas Motlop, the man on the mark. Now Parnell looks to go long. Ugly kick off the right boot. Clee underneath it. Calder flies high. Got two hands to it. Dropped the mark. Taylor stole it. Tried to slap it forward to a teammate. Toa goes through. Fijo did really well. Kept his head over the footy. Took the footy. Went laterally and finds Bo O'Connell on the wing. Little chip looking for Shillabeer. Couldn't take the mark under pressure from Gallus. And right in front of our commentary position, he's wrapped up and the umpire says, I will have it, as Thomas Motlop limps from the ground with what looks like a very, very sore left foot. 12.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. St Mary's lead by 50 points.
Ball tossed up. Newman's in front of Toa. Johnson is still down. That's Taylor, actually. Taylor's still down on the ground for the Eagles. Hasn't moved. Ball comes out towards the forward 50. Picking it up was Holner. Holner gets it off to Labastida. Ball chipped forward to Lant. Eagles under doing a wealth of pressure, and Adams has done well to wrap up Lant. Couldn't get a handball away, and the Eagles are going to have a shot on goal. They're dropping like flies for the Eagles team at the moment. Good news, Taylor is up after being on the ground for some time. Adams will have to kick this 45 metres. Crosses the paint of 50. Puts it onto the boot. Adams doesn't have the carry. Had the wind at his back, but they're very tired legs out there. We have gone 14 minutes in the final term of this semi-final elimination game.
Holner took the mark on that goal line. Now delivers the ball well to Gallus. Gallus out wide to Green. Green on the run. Got metres of space. Goes through half-back. Long kick down towards Robinson. Flies high. Couldn't take the grab. Got hands to it. Goes back in and gets the footy. Slung. Gets the handball away and goes to Salmon. Salmon now. Long kick into the forward pocket. Looking down there for McMurtry. Doesn't find him. And in fact, the kick is out of bounds on the full. So Bo O'Connell to take the free kick deep in that left back pocket for the Eagles. 14 minutes gone. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au.
He goes in short to Thompson. That was a dangerous kick. Thompson wasn't able to take the mark. Now it's the Saints that have an opportunity, and there's a shot on goal from Salmon. Goes to the right of the post. And they pick up another behind. As McLean, the captain, just goes for a jog and tries to kick it in as far as he came down the field.
Labastida almost took the mark for St Mary's. Spillage, he's being held onto behind the play. The Eagles take the footy. Ball comes out to Newman. Newman by hand to Totham. Good play. Totham's kick not quite as good as it could have been. Dylan Lant was there, dropped the mark. He's a bit disappointed with that. Right in front of our commentary position. Slippery, tired, hot. It's been a contest, but St Mary's well in control here. 14.5 minutes gone. 98 plays 47 on the Muzbuzz scoreboard. Muzbuzz on Osgood Drive. Great coffee on the go. You're on SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Shannon Byrne.
Toa in front. Newman gets a tap over. Labastida gets it in the air. Jellyman Turner tries to kick it out of the ground. Number of players around the ball, and it's going to be tossed back in as it's beaten over the boundary. McMurtry was chasing it for St Mary's. And the ball to be tossed in between the two interchange gates, right in front of us in a lovely air-conditioned box, as it's a very warm afternoon for this semi-final.
Boundary throw-in's a good one. Toa wins down, goes to Paredes. Paredes steps out of a tackle, handballs backwards and goes to Heppel. Heppel being pursued by Matthew Motlop. Long kick down towards Calder. Ball punched away from him by Mitchell Taylor. Ball comes to Nick Yarron. Had it, lost it, had it again. Goes to Klusky. Klusky goes to Salmon on the lead. Had 2 bites at the cherry. Couldn't quite grab hold of it. Ball spills to Robinson. Handball from him comes out to Clark. Eagles charging in. Ball comes back to Justin Robinson. Clark taken high. Play on was the call. Little chip goes up to Calder. Over his head. Klusky's there. Gathers 25 from goal. Undergrounds it. Waiting in the goal square was Paredes. He lets it go. It's a goal to Klusky. He kicks his 4th.
Yeah, great work there, and just pressure. I just love the work of Joey Salmon there. He was out of position 2 metres behind his opponent, but really worked hard to at least make the contest and almost took the mark. And then just St Mary's just able to will the football forward again. Klusky in right place, right time, just to be able to swoop on it and kick one off the ground. So terrific there work for St Mary's. It's the nail in the coffin. And just noticed also Brody Newman, as soon as that ball went off the ground, he indicated to the bench, he said, I'm coming off, I'm done. He knows there's probably not a lot to be gained from him staying out there at this stage of the quarter.
So St Mary's 104, leading Wanderers 47. Umpires just making sure that all the players are back. Well done to the runners as well and the water people, because they have been very busy. Ball tapped down, one out of the middle by Heppel. Heppel put it into the forward 50, but it's picked up by the Eagles players. Now they've overran it. Klusky tried to pick it up as well. Oh, great chase down. Absolutely brilliant from Salmon.
There's your man, Brenton. Not trying to influence you for the Kazales player of the day at all.
Has had some game.
I just like the way, and it was a change. They took him deep forward. I saw him before the game warming up out of the square as a lead mark player, but other than his lead mark ability and his speed, just his tackle pressure there, like we just saw on that occasion, it's just incredible. Terrific work and a great move by coach Anthony Vallejo to find a spot that this guy can really show his wares.
And smart by Salmon. He was over the ball for some time, hands on hips. He's absolutely knackered out there, Salmon, and rightly so. He just gives it off. And this is a number of players walking around. Very, very tired bodies out there, and Salmon knew he didn't have the distance.
And now Kieran Parnell, the defender, Shannon.
And Parnell's going to have to hit it from 50. What's he got left in the legs? A high up and under, and that is a defender's kick if ever you've seen one. It's missed absolutely everything and gone out of bounds on the full to the metre to the right post.
Obviously some very, very tired bodies.
Yep, we'll forgive them. Mitchell Taylor brings the ball back into play, goes to Fijo. Been serviceable for the Eagles this afternoon. Takes that mark in the left back pocket. Runs on. Calder puts on some pressure. Ball comes to the middle of the ground. Zach Robinson's there to put on some pressure. Spills to Matthew Motlop. Kicks out into space. Commentary wing. Jerome Motlop just slaps the ball back over his head. Lant will be first there. Gathers the ball well and then handball straight over the head of Lucas Jellyman Turner. Lucky for them both, there was no Eagles player there. Jellyman Turner calm. Gathers the footy. Goes back to Blake Cook. Now goes over to centre half back to Toa. St Mary's lining up here in metres of space. The skills are poor, but there's no one there to put any pressure on. Ball goes to Smithson. Now through half forward to Parnell, who's normally a half back. Up towards Calder. Mitchell Taylor, in fact, met it bull-chested and it came off and went back to Calder. Tried to get a handball away. Now Keenan Smith-Thompson for the Eagles. Mops up. His long kick. Out to centre wing. Picked up by Gallus in front of Shillabere. Handballs back to Parnell. Goes by kick to Smithson. Smithson backwards to Toa by hand. Now he goes to McMurtry. Kicks up towards Robinson. Leaps high. Can't take the mark. Comes off hands and goes to Heppel. Gathers the footy. Backwards to Robinson. Needs to put ball on boot. He does, but there's a free kick. And the free kick will go back to Heppel in the corridor. 45 from goal. Tired players, Brenton. They're looking rather exhausted out there. And Braden McLean could not believe that free kick was given against him there.
Rightfully so, like tough conditions, but it was just started out a really high-paced game. This and it's been, and they've kept it at that level.
They have indeed, as we see Sean Edwards coming back onto the ground. You talk about his minutes being managed. Anthony Vallejo giving him more game time. If Saints are going to go any deeper, he's going to be very important. Now Heppel lining up. Kick is poor off the right boot. Calder tries to leap at it. And it's out of bounds on the full. Whenever it's been out of bounds on the full, Brendan, it's always been in that pocket.
Yep. That's that little gap between the grandstand and the Michael Long Centre, and the breeze just blows straight through there.
Taylor kicks it straight down the middle of the park. Smithson got a hand for it for St Mary's. Ball travels, though, in the middle of the park. The handball goes over for the Eagles. Thorne takes a bounce. Got an ugly bounce, and as he took it back, Lant just ran Thorne down. Gave him a little shove at the end as well. And Lant, great tackle pressure. We saw it from Salmon inside their forward 50. Lant's just done it defensively in their 50.
Gee, deceptively quick, Shannon.
Yeah, to Thorne's fairness, he got an ugly bounce up.
Oh, he did.
He got an and he had to sort of prop back. But that was great running from Lant. Did not give up. So he gets him out of danger, out of the left back pocket. And St Mary's now again are lining up. Paredes, the captain, has it. He just lobs it over to Parnell, who's unmarked. Parnell goes for a bit of a run down to the right forward pocket where Salmon is unmarked. And this is getting tough for the Eagles. Salmon goes even further to Sean Edwards, who's just come onto the field. He takes an uncontested mark, and that's 4 marks from St Mary's, with an Eagles player not within a metre of them defensively. Taylor's standing on the mark. Sean Edwards just puts the ball down on the ground, wipes his hands. He's standing outside the boundary. 40 metres from goal in the right forward pocket, underneath the light tower. Sean Edwards goes on the outside of the boot, tries to bring it back. It's not going to go the distance. Calder comes into play, crashes over a number of players, trying to kick it off the ground was Klusky, and it is through for a behind. St Mary's 105 are leading Wanderers 47, 23 minutes gone in the final term.
Right, McLean brings the ball back into play, out wide, looking for Newman. Newman went to go the fly, and the free kick was paid. The mark was in fact taken down there by Lucas Jellyman Turner. The ball delivered to Calder. He couldn't take the mark, went back in and got it again. Got it to Smithson. Smithson to Salmon on the charge. Salmon on the snap, and Salmon has kicked 5. What a performance by Salmon, and just the hard work of Calder to get the ball to him. St Mary's move on to 17-9, 111. Wanderers 7-5-47, thanks to Muzz Buzz on Osgood Drive. Great coffee on the go. 23 minutes gone. You're an SEN Top End Footy for Chemist Warehouse and cfsgear.com.au. Brenton Torley.
Terrific work there by St Mary's, and that man again, Joey Salmon. It's been a masterstroke getting him deep down in the forward line, and that was always a concern, was the number of avenues towards goal that St Mary's had. It's always been Jackson Calder, but today I think they've found the spot for Joey Salmon. Taking, a Wanderers player away from the play, I think has been smart, and he's just made the most of his opportunities since he's been down there.
Newman up in the ruck against Robinson. They've rested Smith for this quarter. Ball had time to be tossed up, but the siren sounds, and a number of players put their fists in the air for St Mary's. They live another week, but for Wanderers players, a few are down on the ground as Yaron comforts McLean, the captain for the Eagles, who's over on his haunches. For the Wanderers side, their season is done. But for St Mary's, this is a huge win, a huge confidence boost. 10 goals over the Eagles. St Mary's 17-9, 111 to Wanderers 7-5, 47.
Well done, Shannon. You hear that song in the background. Saints will be mightily relieved that they have won that game. They finished second. If they'd gone out in straight sets, it would have been extremely disheartening, embarrassing, use whatever word you wish to, but they